Hello, hello, hello to all my good friends. This is Nicholas from Serbia. YU7VSN here. Did a little bit of setup yesterday. I'm sorry that I still don't have the web camera attached so that you can see my face also. But anyways, wanted to give you guys a quick and short video and a short glimpse of what I'm doing here. I still have one thing missing, which I think I'm going to be able to set up in the next couple of days. But for now, let me just give you a start menu, welcome screen. This is Garuda Linux, Bird of Prey. The code name of the operating system is called the Bird of Prey. Garuda Linux is based on Arch Linux or Arch Linux, which many people find very difficult to use. Now, I'm still struggling with myself years already about Linux distributions and Linux operating systems, but I love them. And I like to implement Linux in my daily tasks as my daily driver. What a beautiful photo of an eagle. It's amazing. I'm going to leave this one. I'm using a small program called Simple Screen Recorder, which is very well known for Linux distributions. For many of those, they have different screencasting programs. Of course, I also have here the good old friend OBS, but I didn't choose OBS to do this small presentation. I chose the Simple Screen Recorder. Now what I wanted to show you guys is that the first thing about this Linux, I'm going to type a name of a program called the HTOP. It's a very small system process program, which is, as you see in visual, this computer is an i5 6th generation. So i5 processor, 6th generation, has a total of 16 gigs of RAM, 4 physical cores, and it's using now only 1.31 gig of RAM memory. The graphics on this baby, let's just type in SU as sudo and my password, and I'm gonna type in NVIDIA dash settings. I hope it's called a dash or slash or whatever. Now this is the proprietary NVIDIA driver control panel. This is the graphics card on the baby. GTX 980 Ti. 6 gigs of RAM, 384 bits. It's a very strong GPU, and the sucker gobbles up a lot of power. You can see now that I'm working on this one. It's on 48 to 51 degrees centigrade. It's still, still a little bit, if you ask me, it's still a little bit hot, but that's just me. I can switch on the fan speed control settings. If I boost the fan to about 70%, I get an instant. Now you're gonna hear the sound of the fan going wild, and you can hear and you can see the temperature dropping rapidly. You see? So with this Linux distribution and with many other Linux distributions using proprietary NVIDIA drivers, I can really fairly enough control my graphics card, and I still have a very good frame rate and recall. Now what I wanted you guys to know is that finally I think I've found a distribution which suits my needs. I have found most of the software. What I really like to use, for example, web browsing, is Google Chromium, and there is also a Google Chrome, but I prefer Chromium. Qubit Torrent is a torrenting program which looks pretty much the same as a uTorrent or meTorrent or any other BitTorrent client. And believe me guys, it does the same job. Yes, of course. You have the Telegram desktop, have Discord, I have Kodi multimedia entertainment system, Hypnotics for live TV. I'm using an SM player for already years for playing my video and audio. I have Stremio, OBS Studio, Simple Screen Recorder. I have this funny little application which gives me online radio stations on shortwave AM broadcast, which I also like to listen. And it's fantastic, you know. It does such a nice job. Wonderful dream, wonderful dream. I'm not gonna overdo it. What I've managed to do now in the past day, I have connected my small Chinese clone box, the SDR dongle, which is called the RSP1C, which stands for clone for the SDR Plays RSP1A, and it's a very, very nice clone, almost the same quality as the RSP1C, as the RSP1A, sorry. So I have a working operating system, which is Linux. It's very easy to use. The file manager, as you guys see, is very similar to Windows Explorer. I can have a split view on my file manager, so I don't even need to install anything additional, just to go copy, paste, move, or anything else. What I wanted you guys to know, for example, this is my 750 gigabytes hard drive with my personal data on it. If I don't give it command, the Linux is not going to mount it. It's not going to use it. But if I want to see what's on my hard drive and use it, I can just simply go open with a right click or mount volume. Now it's going to be mounted, and with a double click I can see my files, programs, etc, etc, etc. When I'm finished working with my hard drive, with my data, I just exit the file manager, the Explorer, right click, unmount. Practically now, anybody who wants to infiltrate the system and try to access your private data has to go through a very large protocol of trying to access the root user rights to be able to mount your partitions or hard drives. One more safety feature what Linux holds, what Windows doesn't hold. Now I'm very proud that I finally managed to get the SDR Plus online, and my dongle is now, as you see, SDR Play RSP1 on 2 megahertz bandwidth. I have some settings, of course, in this program. The program is pretty basic. I mean, let's change the theme, not the deep blue, let's make it marine gray theme, which looks fairly nice. And as you guys see, the waterfall can be set up with different colors, you see now, the waterfall window, the color map can be web SDR, can be smoke, can be temper colors, can be turbo. You know, a lot of things are customizable even on a program which is a freeware like SDR Plus. But what I'm proud of is that it's finally working on finally working on the Linux with this distribution. So maybe it would be nice if you guys ever get interested in crossovering and transferring. I mean, Linux has almost all the features nowadays like Windows. So when you open up the start menu in this desktop environment, the desktop environment is called XFCE, and I'm using this one the most in any Linux distribution just because it's very simple, basic, and looks totally eye candy for me. Reminds me of good old Windows XP, which was, I believe, the finest last example of Windows which could ever be used. Let's make this even shorter. I have to make it shorter. Here are the categories of software, and as you hover your mouse, you can scroll down through different categories. For example, like graphics. Here is a program, the GIMP. It's a GNU image manipulation program. It's same like Photoshop, On the internet section is everything what I've installed, what I need and I'm using. The multimedia section, when you go to the office, I've installed a VPS. It's a free software package which totally resembles Microsoft Office, and if I give it command, open up a new set of a new document for me, it's going to do this for you. It's going to save everything in the format, which is going to be totally capable sorry guys, of being opened on Windows. So I know that for some people this could be a tough process of learning and trying to get into this world of Linux distributions, but yeah, it's all quite customizable and doable, and it's all fairly easy to learn. Steven or anybody else from my ham radio colleagues, check it out. Volume control panel. You have all your different tabs with input, output, recording, and so on and so on. I'm well over 0 dB, so that's not good. So that means that the video is not going to be good. But let's see. Yep. Maybe I should have actually put this one down, but now it's already finished. Input devices. Well, the microphone has been placed down, but still it's running like crazy. I don't know. Give it just a little bit of thought. Maybe you find yourself. The only thing what is not going to be operational still on Linux, it's still under development mode, but it's not totally undoable. It's that our SDR transceivers like Sun SDR, the Anon, the Flex, some of the conventional rigs which have capability of cat control and everything, it's a little bit more difficult to set up on Linux. But having it as a daily driver on a computer, which maybe you're going to hook up some dongle to, just to be able to listen and use everything what you see on the screen and even more in the start menu, then maybe you should just give it a thought. Love you guys. Best regards from Serbia. Hope it was not a too long video, and I hope it goes good with the upload. 7-3s for now. This was Yankee Uniform 7 Victoria Sugar Norway, Nick from Serbia. 7-3s.